Hey guys, I have a new challenge for you today. It is Thursday, August 12th, and every other Thursday we like to play a game in the craft social, and I got a new game for you today. So I am going to take just a minute to introduce it and invite you out to the craft social. The link to the craft social is below the video in the description or below the embedded video on the blog. This is our card today. It's a little wild with lots of scraps in the background. So when I was away on the Maui incentive trip, some of my team members on the kitchenettes took some time and did a challenge. And one of the challenge cards was from Jackie Anderson, and she used scraps to make this fruity card and then challenged on the craft social people to send me the cards that they did for the fruity challenge. Well, when she sent this one to me in combination with my friend Rhonda, one of the admins on the craft social, she said, what about a scrap challenge, like use up the bits? Well, it made me think immediately of Jackie's inspiration card, and so I got to work. And that is your challenge today on the craft social, is to make a Franken card. Make a Halloween or a fall card. I know not everybody does Halloween or a fall card using your scraps and bits and pieces. I thought a Franken card would be perfect because I used to call these things that I saved the graveyard. So, I've got a couple of die cut and punch out shapes that were extras and just thrown back into the scrap bag. I picked a bow off of another project for my card, and then so I have another one here from another project that didn't get used. I got my scraps of the cute Halloween designer series paper that were just picked right out from the bag of scraps. And then this was extras from a class that I'm cutting right now. I went into the black scrap bag and found this embossed piece. You know how we save these things? It's too good to throw away, right? That's the idea. Grab your scraps and all those things that are too good to throw away and make a card. Look at this treasure of too good to throw away. Got all these orange half labels. This is the Label Me Lovely Punch, and it's cut in half. And we did way too many for a class that I was preparing. So I've got all these little half labels. It's crazy the stuff we crafters keep. So grab those things and make a card and then share with us in the craft social. Here's my card and let's get started. So I've got a piece of basic black cardstock and it's 5 1/4 by 4. It's embossed. I used the retired spiderweb folder on it and found it in my bag of scraps. I'm going to adhere it to the front of a standard pumpkin pie card base. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let's glue that down. It's fun to finally use this. It makes me feel like, oh, well, that's why I saved that, right? And being a demonstrator, I always save these kind of things because they're way too good to throw away. But sometimes honesty, like confession time here, sometimes I don't use them once they retire. And so I decided with this Franken card challenge that I was just going to use these anyways because that's what I'd want you to do as a kitchen table stamper, Stampin' Up customer. I'd want you to use your things. So there's our base of our card. Now I've got these little bits here, these little half a label, and they were kind of wide at first. So I cut them down, but now I don't think I need to because I had thought at first when I pulled them out that I might use them with the essential everyday tag and they were bigger. So I think I can skip that step and just move on to gluing them down. What I did with them originally was I trimmed the last little bracket off, and I think I can skip that step. So let's go ahead and just grab a paper trimmer. I got all these scraps that are 6 inches. They're, 5/8 by 6. They're 1/2 inch by 6. And I'm just going to cut them so that they're different lengths. All right, so let me turn this the right way. Okay. I know everybody laughs at me when I say turn it the right way because I use it upside down. But I'm going to do some of them 5, some of them 4 7/8. I'm just going to cut them so that they're all a little bit different in length, similar but not quite the same. And that way we can get kind of this toggled scrap look. Okay, then I'm also going to punch the pumpkins out of the scrap. So let's grab this one. You can see I had already been cutting some of the pieces out, so I just grabbed the scrap and let's get 3 pumpkins out of there. And to do that and work with the cute Halloween punch, I'm going to cut them into a little bit smaller bits so it's easier to manipulate it into the punch. And then I'm going to use one of the scraps and a little bit of dry adhesive, just a tiny touch on the end of one of the scraps, and that'll make a handle for us so that we can really manipulate our pumpkin into the punch. All right, so I've got my little cute Halloween punch, isn't that great? And we're going to grab this little pumpkin, and we need to put this little scrap into the edge there. So I'm going to just extend with a little handle and then punch my pumpkins. I'm going to punch 3 of them from the scrap. Just line it up. And give it a, so there's our pumpkin. Let me punch 2 more of these. All right, so we've got our scraps and our labels. Let's put our pumpkins aside and our bats aside for just a minute, and let's work on our scraps. I'm going to take the first scrap and put some multi-purpose liquid glue. Then I'm going to take the little bracket and I'm going to put the bracket kind of low on the scrap. It doesn't matter that it goes over because we're going to layer up our scraps. So there's our first little scrap bracket. I'm going to add that to the card. And then our next one, we're going to go with black and white candy here. We're going to add that one to the card and see how it covers up that little piece of bracket. And then our last piece here, add the glue. And then we're going to place the brackets low and high. See, so we're really just using these bits up. And it feels kind of good. You know, we hold on to this stuff as crafters. So why not make something cute with it? And that is your challenge. Go get those graveyard pieces. Go get those scraps and do something cool. All right, so then we're going to do this guy. And then this guy's going to cover the gap there, but we want to make sure that our brackets are covered before we burnish down. See, my bracket's going to show right there. So I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm just going to lift this up a little bit and I'm going to trim this so that when I glue down, when I burnish down and then cover the gap with our last scrap, it's going to be covered. All right, so here's our last little bit. All right, there's the base of our card. Look at all that scrap that we just used up. And it's kind of fun, isn't it? All right, next up, I have a little piece of basic gray here. It was punched with the Everyday Essential tag. And I want a second tag for my greeting. So I did go look at my white scraps to see if I had one of these already punched, and I didn't. So I have to punch one. And let's do a little bit of stamping now. I also brought in a piece of basic white cardstock that is 3 7/8 by 2 5/8 because it fits perfectly in this scallop that I had in my black scrap bin. All right, so let's do our inside and outside greetings. On the outside, we're going to do you put a smile on my face, and on the inside, we're going to have a fabulous Halloween. So you probably noticed by now we're using the Cutest Halloween bundle. When you get the Cutest Halloween stamp set and the Halloween punch, oh, that's not it. When you get the Cutest Halloween stamp set and the Halloween punch together, you can save 10%. I've got little spider and the 2 greetings from that set. Let's get our memento tuxedo black ink and do some stamping. All right, so the outside says you put a smile on my face, which I think is so cute with the pumpkins that we punched out. And we're going to do it high of center and then centered right to left. That gives us some room for our pumpkins to kind of dance along the bottom. And then for the inside, got my card here, and I just want to make sure that my stamp is really clean. So I'm going to grab my simple chamois and I'm going to wipe off and make sure it's really clean because we're going to do the greeting in 2 steps. So we got clean. All right, then we're going to take a little bit of paper towel and just dab a little bit. The photopolymer can be sticky and we don't want to get the fuzz on there, but we want this stamp to be really entirely dry. Now I'm going to use a sticky note and I'm going to cover have a, and I'm going to ink up Fabulous Halloween. So we're going to break up this greeting onto 2 lines because it's too wide for the inside of our card. So we've got have a Fabulous Halloween. We'll take the Post-it. We take the sticky note off of have a, and we're just going to center Fabulous Halloween. Fabulous. Now we've got to wipe off the ink from Fabulous Halloween, and we're going to stamp have a. So now again, we're going to make sure the stamp is dry. We don't want to leave any marks on our paper. And we want the sticky note to cover. And we're going to cover Fabulous and just ink up have a. All right, so there's have a. Pull away the sticky note. Don't forget that part. Really important to take off the sticky note. And then center have a above Fabulous Halloween. And then last, I got this little spider dude. So cute. I love his big eyes. We're going to stamp him right in there. Cute. Cutest Halloween. All right, let's get back to our card here. So we got this guy out of the scrap bin. I cut this one for who knows what project, and it was rejected. It's the second largest pierced scallop rectangle from the contours. I'm going to add this piece of paper centered in the that we just stamped, this piece of basic white paper that we just stamped inside the piercing. And then let me show you this one. This is the Scallop Contours die set, and we had one of these left. It's not the biggest one with the eyelets, but it's the pierced one. We can add this to the inside of our card. So cute. Oh my gosh. And this is all just raiding the scrap bin, the graveyard of pieces. That's what I call those, the bats that you can't bring yourself to throw away. The pierced scallop rectangle. I must have decided on a different color or something. Had an extra one. And then there's the inside of our card. Next, you put a smile on my face. I got this basic gray little tag. On my original one, I added some texture to it, but you can hardly see it. So I'm just going to skip that step this time. And then add the gray, like a little mat. And then I'm going to glue to the card my tags. So cute. You put a smile on my face. Now my bow, that little bow I had picked off of another project. I picked it off, didn't use it, and then couldn't throw it away. So I thought perfect for this card. Just put that on the top of the tag there. Such a cutie. Couple of bats. These are left extras from the holiday sampler kits that we're preparing. They were sitting around on the desk. I'm using the bats from last year's Halloween suite in that class kit. So there were some extras. We're just going to pop those guys on there. Now they don't even have to go into the graveyard or the scrap bin. Cute, right? And then our pumpkins, let's get some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of those. Get them on the card. I'm using up the edge of the very last bit of the dimensionals. So even that is part of this Franken card graveyard challenge. The last little bit to finish the card. And we'll add one. And they're just going to dance along the bottom. Don't cover your greeting. Oh, they're going to be a little different. That's okay though. So cute. Last, we've got the cute stars adhesive backed sequins. Let's go ahead and add a few of those. I think I'm going to do orange ones this time. I like to mix it up. I'm always surprised which color I like better once it's done. So we're going to do 3 of them this way. And then we'll go with 2 down here. I like the orange ones for the contrast. They're really good. And there is, you put a smile on my face. This is our graveyard challenge, our Franken card challenge. I hope you'll join us in the craft social and give it a try. If you've got any questions about the craft social, join in the kitchenettes. It's a great time during celebration. Or about the project itself, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com and shop Stampin' Up 24/7. You can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.